Welcome to, Popcorn Junkies, the box set bingers, the Sawalha-Adderleys, with the sound of
We have so many arms.
like an octopus.
Sorry, as soon as we sit down to film, the neighbours start, so forgive us for that. But we thought we'd push on.
So this is a review of Mare of Easttown, an HBO original series starring Kate Winslet, also has Guy Pearce in there too. A drama set in a small town in Pennsylvania, where Kate Winslet plays a very down to earth, very real. She's not a glamorous detective in a small town police force. I'm a big fan of Kate. I like Kate Winslet. I've liked her in everything I've seen her in, right from the early days of. God, what was that film that she was in where she was running around like a nutter?
Not the one about the little boat.
No, not the little film about that. That was probably my least favourite of all of her films.
Yeah. Well, it's her first big film. Mind the thing, you're wobbling.
Yeah.
You're wobbling the camera.
I know, I'm stopping.
You love to wobble the camera.
I'm stopping wobbling the camera.
It's a wobbler. Oh my God, yeah, I'm not a massive I sometimes, and this is a bit of a mistake of mine, I sometimes allow my feelings towards actors that I might have had from an interview they've done to infiltrate me and prejudice me against their performances, and I've just never really taken to her.
Right.
But wow, oh wow, she is utterly brilliant from a standing start in this, isn't she?
Yeah.
She exudes abject misery like nothing you've ever seen before, and I love the slow reveal through the first episode as to why. The dawnings, you realise, don't you, as to what the layers of unhappiness.
Why she is as morose and maudlin.
I have to say, through a lot of it,
half empty.
Because I'm fairly in the last 6 months on HRT, I was thinking I'd love to get a patch on her.
Right.
Because she just epitomised.
Yeah, I mean, you did that thing at one point where you said she's a bit miserable, isn't? And it's funny. I was really indulging and enjoying her miserableness because what I liked about it was it's a very unvain performance, right down from the lighting to the look to the feel to the setups to the
weight that she even gave her own body, to the point where she makes herself almost look a stone heavier than you can actually see she is, because just to move through every moment of her day is just an enormous effort. It's like she's walking through treacle. I don't know if you've ever had that where you feel really down or you just feel weary.
She's in grief. She's a woman who's overwhelmed with grief. And when you realise that retrospectively, it's one of those rare occasions where I watched the end of this episode. I wanted to go back to the beginning and watch it with the kind of knowledge that you're given at the end of this episode. But for me, there was a moment where a penny dropped where I thought, hang on a minute, this is a cut above the rest of this show. Because there was a film I saw recently called The Devil All the Time, starring Tom Holland, which was a brilliantly epic period piece set in sort of 1930s, 1940s America. So many characters, and sometimes there's the risk when you get so many characters. You often hear people go, "Oh, there are too many characters. I couldn't deal with it."
They haven't been well written.
That's because they haven't been well written. They haven't been, their connection to each other hasn't been interrogated meaningfully, so you don't believe it. So they're forgettable. And I thought what was clever about this, very quickly within the first 10-15 minutes, quite a few members of the cast were being introduced, but because they were being introduced with such a defined, meaningful, and subtle connection with her, they eased into you. Whether it have been just her mother just sat around the table, or a husband who just came from next door, or the vicar who was a cousin or a nephew.
Now, when you say that, actually, you're right. I wasn't able to articulate in my own brain what it was that I loved, but actually, that is so right.
Yeah,
the relationships. Like you say, it's a big cast.
Yeah.
In many other shows,
you'd go like this.
But you understand a lot, and yet you understand, and yet you know that you know nothing.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing, isn't it? Because you understand there's a connection and the depth of the connection.
Yes. But right down to like that first case where she's chasing the boy who they think's stolen things, and he has stolen things, but she has a connection. He's obviously a repeat offender. You access
real small town living where people grow up knowing their community,
and you access quite quickly in that scene with that family, the sister or the mother or the wife or whoever the connection is between the guy who's been put in the car. Is he going to go to the homeless shelter?
So much given in that scene where she's like crying, and she actually says, "I wish she would just die so I could just get over this shit." And the way that she tries to bring, because she's a true like community police officer, isn't she? She's a social worker. She's known a lot of people as they've grown up, haven't they, and seen because it tackles the drug problem that is actually massive across the States, isn't it?
I mean, there's something about
so
it that was so
rich.
real. It was so real. And anyway, so you've got this other narrative that starts where you've got this young girl who's had a child too young. You know, she's a lost kid.
We loved her from the first
loved her from the
second.
beginning. Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing about the characters. You have so much sympathy for them. You're so invested in them.
And
I'm invested in every single
one of them.
I woke up this morning thinking about them and worrying about them.
And we won't give you a spoiler on this one, though. In the next review, when we do the second episode, we will talk about it. But you know, you're following this young girl who's got a child, and her partner or boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, has got access. Who's now with a horrible potential stepmom to her baby.
That character, that actress,
she's horrible.
She came in like, we were shocked. We were shocked by her.
Hideous. And so you've got this terrible sort of sense of. I kept saying to Maddie and Nadia, I kept saying, "Oh, something awful's going to happen." And you know, I mean, you can well imagine the narrative arc of this is such that you're left with a really intriguing and frightening and horrible ending and heartbreaking ending. But you're right, all those characters.
And you've got running parallel to this story, to these stories. There is a big story going on about a young girl who was a friend of Kate Winslet's daughter, who's a drug addict, and she's gone missing a year ago. You feel the weight of that, don't you? And that great scene where she gets drunk, and it's so counterintuitive when she's talking to the mother of the lost child in that really angry
at the ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh, she played that so
well.
So you've got the mother of a missing child who's actually herself suffering with, dealing with cancer. Who's very hurt and dealing with her own grief, and she's made a public announcement that the police haven't done enough. Kate Winslet was the key officer, and so she feels takes it personally. And you're right, they're lining up in this queue where for a local sort of ceremony or piece of fun. They're all in this queue together, and you can see Kate Winslet can't help but...
She has a gut. She's whispering really nastily into this mother who's got cancer, who's lost her child. This viciousness. So it was great because she's multi-dimensional, this character. She's not just the good cop, she's moody, she's difficult, she's irascible, she's unfair. You know, we see her like kind of emotionally blackmail her family, doesn't she? She's told them she doesn't want them to come to this event, and they don't, and she makes them feel bad. She's just all woman.
She's a grandmother as well. She really takes ownership of that,
we also see the tenderness that she has for her grandson. She's exhausted.
And again, there's a spoiler detail which we won't give you yet on that one, but you discover why
I picked up on it first.
Yeah, you did actually.
All the little
but I thought her daughter was great as well. The daughter's so good.
I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, because her daughter is gay, and that's obviously very multi-layered.
Yes.
I wonder if the daughter knows something about the girl that's gone missing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the original girl that's gone missing, because of course by the end of this episode there is a crime.
There's a murder.
There's a murder. But can I also say Guy Pearce is in there, and some people find Guy Pearce a bit marmite. I really like him in everything he's in.
I just still can't believe that he's turned to what he has when I watch him in Neighbours, and he's a great actor.
But didn't you think that scene between them was so real? The way they met, the way he talked to her, the way that he pulled her.
And then the sex. Just everything about it is just visceral and real. Really real.
Classy. It's classy, but it's not wearing its class on its sleeve. It's kind of humbly done. Everyone in it, every bit part is so rich and real. Everyone's so... I felt like I was there. I felt like I'd been taken to Pennsylvania, and dropped there, and I'm absolutely captivated.
And Maddie watched it with us as well, our 18-year-old, and actually our other daughter is going to watch it as well and catch up with us. We wanted to binge watch the whole series,
but you can't.
But in a way, I'm glad we couldn't now, because we will look forward to everything, and we're going to review it every week. So
really good.
If you haven't watched it, watch it, and then catch up and watch along with us.
Really good. Weeks. A real surprise. A really nice, pleasant surprise.
That's why I was so surprised, but I was.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.